Good afternoon and welcome to the midday news on Voice of the People television. Promise in, and now the headlines. FRSC deploys 36,000 personnel for Eid celebration. Niger governor orders low-key Salah celebration. Sultan seeks prayers for Nigerian on Arafat Day. Defense Ministry warns Boko Haram's insurgents threatens stability across Nigeria and the Sahel region. Tinubu confirms national honor on Bill Gates. Education Minister goes tough on illegal satellite campuses. In business, FAO launched 200 million aquaculture support initiative. And in sports, Super Falcons outshine indomitable Lionesses. And in the world of entertainment, Cobham's support to direct Davido's Five Alive musical tour. And now the news in details. The Federal Road Safety Corps has commenced a nationwide special patrol operation in preparation for the Eid celebration slated for Friday. The operation, which runs from June 5 to June 11, aims to ensure road safety and manage traffic flow during the festive period. Corps spokesperson Olusegun Ogungbemide disclosed today in a statement that over 36,000 personnel, including regular and special marshals, will be deployed across the country. The operation will be supported by 750 patrol vehicles, 120 ambulances, and 25 tow trucks, and more than 200 motorbikes. The statement noted that Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed disclosed that the special patrol is designed to facilitate free vehicular movement, enable prompt rescue operations, and promptly clear road obstructions. Mohammed stressed the Corps' commitment to reducing road traffic crashes through effective patrols and public enlightenment. Meanwhile, the governor of Niger State, Umar Bago, has ordered a low-key El-Kabir celebration and the suspension of Hawan, Bariki, Dubar, and other elaborate Salah activities across all emirates in the state. The Secretary to the Government of Niger State, Abubakar Usman, said in a statement today that the decision was taken following the devastating flood and ravaged Mopa and surrounding communities in the state. The governor urged citizens to use the Salah celebration to pray for the departed souls and engage in acts of charity for the affected communities. In the meantime, the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, has called on the Muslims to offer fervent prayers for Nigeria on Arafat Day, with a view to seeking divine solutions to the myriad of challenges facing the country. The Sultan made the call today in a statement issued by the Jamaatul Nasri Islam, signed by its Secretary General Khalid Aliyu. Abubakar cited some of the current challenges facing Nigeria, including the resurgence of Boko Haram insurgents, attacks in northeast, and banditry attacks in the northwest and parts of the north central. Abubakar therefore implored the Muslims to fervently pray for Allah's intervention. He emphasized the importance of persistence in prayers, citing the promise of relief and succor that comes with observing supplications to Allah. The Sultan reminded the Muslims of the importance of providing relevant intelligence tips to the security agencies and supporting their effort to maintain peace and security in the country. Elsewhere, Kano State government has urged the residents to ensure animals intended for sacrificing during the forthcoming Eid el-Kabir are healthy and safe for consumption. This is contained in a statement issued in Kano by the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health, now Bisu Ahmad. He quoted the Sub-Commissioner for Health, Abubakar Labaran, as saying that the advice was aimed at safeguarding public health and preventing the spread of zoonotic diseases. Labaran emphasized the need for the residents to be vigilant and only purchase and slaughter animals certified to be healthy. He warned that some animal-borne disease could be transmitted to humans, especially when meat is not properly handled or cooked. In another development, Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru has warned that the resurgence of Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, especially in Borno State, is part of the insurgents' renewed effort to destabilize Sahel region, including Nigeria, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, and Mali. Badaru issued the warning during a two-working visit to military facilities in Kaduna State. The minister disclosed this to newsmen immediately after he toured military facilities. The minister added that the federal government of Nigeria will continue to fight the terrorists as he expressed confidence that normalcy will return to the region. And away from that, President Bola Tinubu has praised Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft and chairman of the Bill Gates Foundation, for inspiring leaders worldwide by consistently lifting the poor and underprivileged. The president, who conferred the national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic on Bill Gates, hailed the renewed philanthropist's interventions in maternal health, agriculture, and infectious disease research. Gates, in his response, said he was honored by the conferment of the FRC by the president. The Microsoft co-founder told President Tinubu that he was dedicated to cutting malnutrition and spreading vaccines that could end malaria in Nigeria. Gates also assured the Nigerian ruler of his continued commitment to improving health in Nigeria, aiming to invest his entire wealth in this cause in the next 20 years. Earlier, Professor Mohammed Pati, the Minister of Health and Social Development, said Gates' recognition was well-deserved considering his long-term involvement in Nigeria's national development. Still in the news, President Tinubu has received the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, at his private residence in Ikoyi, Lagos State. Governor Adeleke was accompanied by his elder brother, renowned businessman and philanthropist Adedeji Adeleke, as well as his nephew, internationally acclaimed Afrobeat musician David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido. This visit was disclosed by the special assistant to the president on social media, Dada Olusegun, and shared the development in a post on X. And now to education, the federal government says it will impose tough sanctions on any federal university that establishes a satellite campus without prior approval of the Minister of Education. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, disclosed this in a memo sent to the National Universities Commission. Alausa disclosed that the decision is born out of federal government's determination to restore the quality and integrity of tertiary education in the country. He therefore directed the NUC to, through the memo, inform all federal universities that no satellite campuses be established without prior approval of the ministry through the Executive Secretary of the Commission. Still talking education, the Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Bogaji, has criticized the Academic Staff Union of Universities for opposing ongoing efforts to upgrade polytechnics to degree awarding institutions. Speaking in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, Bogaji asserted that polytechnics operate independently and should not be seen as subordinate to universities. To WESU's reported resistance proposal to introduce Bachelor of Technology honors degree in polytechnics, Bogaji dismissed the notion that the move would encroach on university territory. While joining us to analyze the stories and more on the media news is Barrister Darlington Agamo, VOP analyst and a barrister. Oh, a legal practitioner. Good afternoon, Barrister Darlington. Good to have you on the media news today.
Good afternoon, Promise Child. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Barrister, let's start off with the Osun State Governor visiting the President in Ikoyi. Looks like a synergy between opposition parties and the major parties. It should be that way because it doesn't matter the kind of party or what party you are in. The President is the President, and there should be a relationship going on there. Anything to chime in on that before we move on?
Well, I would have, maybe it is a Salah visit. That is what I want to see it.
But Barrister, do you also remember that Minister for Blue Economy is the nephew of the president, and he's someone who has always been at loggerheads with the Osun State governor. You know, he contested and lost the Osun State gubernatorial seat. So there have been this clash. So some people are surprised that, okay, Adeleke is trying to renew a relationship with the president.
No, I don't think it's a political visit.
Okay.
I want to see it as a part of Salah visit. And I'm sure...
Part of Salah visit that he hasn't done before.
Because the opportunity have not arisen now. Tinubu have not been president before.
He was last year. There was also Salah celebration last year.
As at that time now, I mean, you know what was going on.
What was going on?
In Osun State.
Okay.
That was the heat of electoral tribunal.
You also know that Osun State has been owed, they've not disbursed March and April allocation to Osun State because they've not conducted a proper local government. Then they didn't conduct a proper local government election. So perhaps could this be one of the reasons why he went to see the president?
Anyway, like I said, it could be part of the Salah visit. You know, in such a meeting, you could drop a word or two. But I don't think so, because if it was so, Adeleke wouldn't have gone with his family members, who are not a part of his government. He went with his senior brother, a businessman, and
his nephew,
a musician. I mean, how would he be discussing state matters in the presence of such people?
They are family members.
Yeah, but they are not in government.
Is it out of line to discuss state matters?
It is there. They are not in government. There's no way he would have been doing that. It will be out of tune.
Okay.
Yes, it is not proper. Except Tinubu may allow them to talk about such things. But I know that such discussions, maybe they may stay in one corner of the house while he goes in to discuss with Tinubu in another part of the house. You understand? When such visits are conducted, it's not everything you discuss in the presence of non-state actors.
Okay.
Because it's not good for governance. It's not. Yes, that's what I feel.
All right.
So until they finish with their meeting, maybe a word or two will now filter into the press. We now know the reason for the visit.
For the visit.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that. Now, moving on, let's look at the president has conferred national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic on Bill Gates. Barrister, I know Bill Gates has been doing lots of philanthropic work in Africa, especially in Nigeria. So the president, this is just a way of saying thank you to the businessman or the business mogul. And he has assured us that for the rest 20 years of his life, he's going to create it or involved in so much charity and philanthropy in Africa in combating malaria, other diseases. You have anything to say about that?
Left to me. I don't like this Father Christmas approach to African issues. It is a big shame that one man will be involved in taking care of the health need of Nigeria. The extent now he has been given one of the highest national honors. I mean, it's an embarrassment. These are part of the reason why they look down on us. You know, there are some gifts you don't welcome because of the wider implication. It's true, yeah, philanthropy is good, but that is when there is natural disaster. You know, when there is something that hits the country and you cannot manage it, then international donors can come and help. Maybe an epidemic broke out or something. But how could you be receiving philanthropy in a normal setting where you should be doing this in yourself as a government? The embarrassing thing is that the money that the government would have used to do some of these things is in private hands. Nigeria is so rich that they can take care of the health need of the country, but this money has been stolen by politicians. Even the one donated to Nigeria are being stolen. Remember what happened to COVID-19 donation? Remember? These are part of the embarrassment
They were stored in warehouses until some of them got expired. And people had to break into the warehouse.
Not only that, the money itself. You remember some who were out to account for the money. Good. So when you see this, it's an embarrassment, or it shows that we are behind the human race. Seriously. There are things you don't need even to talk about. You were in need and you are giving money to solve that need. Instead of you now use it, steal the money, go and pack it somewhere in the Western world. And you call yourself a human being. No, Bill Gates should stop giving us aid so that we can think. That's the truth. Oh. Allow what Donald Trump is doing by removing all this. Let them stop giving us so that we can look in ways.
There is also a conspiracy theory from some Africans now, or some quarters, saying that especially Gates Foundation was fingered in that theory, that they are using Africans or as a guinea pig of experiments. Sometimes, you know that COVID people assume that it was a theory that it was some kind of experiment that was failed, a failed experiment that spiraled out of control. We know the case of Ebola virus. It began in Africa, Barrister. So there is this theory that some Western scientists, backed by Western pharmaceutical companies and some of these NGOs, come to Africa, drop some of those experiments and viruses, see how it's going to spiral. And some theories are saying it's a way of keeping Africans underpopulated. Do you share the same thoughts?
Yeah, because what happened with COVID-19 up to today, nobody have told us the real origin of COVID-19. Nobody. It just...
We only knew it began from China.
China, yeah, that's the source. What caused that thing? What is the what? Is it from animal? Is it from human beings? Is it from what? Everything is shrouded in secrecy. Because that of Ebola, we know they say it's from monkey or whatever, or bat.
It's from monkeys. There is this theory that that virus was dropped in a bush or some forest areas, so animals could, get involved with it, and people, hunters who hunt,
and then the thing spread,
and it affects human beings.
But in that of COVID-19, we have no conclusive or logical explanation as to what happened up to today. You can see, so there is something behind this thing. Just that Africans are too ignorant. Their leaders are not even assertive to say, why did this thing happen, or pursue it. African
leaders are not asking questions.
They are not asking questions. Rather, whatever they tell them, they agree.
But we have scientists, Barrister. I wonder why the government there's no some kind of funding mapped out for scientists, in Africa, especially in Nigeria, drawing it back to Nigeria. That way, Barrister would be able to, start manufacturing our own vaccines. We don't have to rely on the Western countries for malaria vaccines, for HIV vaccines. People are actually trying to get vaccines for all of those ailments, even cancer. We could actually spearhead our own, right? Because Nigerians, doctors and Nigerians medical professionals are one of the best abroad. So what happens to the ones here?
Before you can think of such an independent scientific researchers, you ask your government, are they independent themselves? Can't you see how they love Western product and Western technology, everything Western, they love it so much. So even if you start your own in Africa today, they will not value it. It is the culture of African leaders. That's the truth. That's why we're not going to make any headway. Are you telling me that Nigeria does not have enough money to gather researchers, put them in one university and say, look, we want to find solutions to this problem? They will not do that because their Western allies will say, this thing you are doing is very archaic.
But making efforts is what counts.
Sorry?
Making an effort is what counts.
They won't make because they will not be accepted. That's the truth.
All right, Barrister,
remember when Abalaka said he was found a cure for AIDS and all that? What came out of it? So we have come to settle with colonial mentality.
All right, Barrister, let's move on to issues of insecurity now, because the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Baru, has warned that the resurgence of Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, especially in Borno State, is part of the insurgents' renewal efforts, to keep destabilizing the northern part, especially the Sahel region as a whole. But Barrister, before I get your thoughts there, The military ruler of Niger, General Abdurrahman Chiani, said something today, and I'd like to read part of what he said to you. He said that he has accused Nigeria of conspiring with France and the United States to fund and support terrorism in his country. But I know there have been lots of attacks in Niger, Burkina Faso, generally the Sahel region that are forming the AES. They've been having issues. So he said, in a 3-hour national broadcast, he made a broadcast airing over the weekend. He said that high-level secret meeting took place in Abuja in December 2024 with the aim of orchestrating attacks against Nigerian state. He even went ahead to claim that CIA operatives, Nigerian officials, and Nigerian exiles living, when he took over, of course, the former president and people who were part of his cabinet and family, went on exile, some of them. So he's accusing Nigeria and the US and France of orchestrating insurgency in the whole of Sahel region. This is not the first time he has made this accusation. For a sitting military ruler to set up a press conference, 3 hours press conference, saying this thing, that means it is serious, barrister. And Nigerian government has to respond, or something has to be looked into, right?
Who will look into it? The one he said before, did anybody look into it?
How about the CIA or the American government, maybe making a statement, perhaps rebuting or rebuting a rebuttal statement here could do something, or when they keep accusing you, barrister, you have to say something.
Promise.
Sir?
Were you here when the CIA told you that the Nigerian president is an active asset?
It was alleged.
Alleged. So this one you are saying now, what is it?
It was alleged during the court proceedings. Someone wrote and
hold
said...
on. This one you are talking about now that this man is saying from Niger.
He's also alleging.
Let's leave it at that, since you don't want to believe what the man is saying.
So go ahead with your thoughts, Paris.
What I'm saying is that there is no smoke without fire.
Okay.
This man has been saying this inconsistent, and Nigerian officials have not made it. They've not even tried to say, okay, this thing is true or not. They kept quiet. And then the CIA is there telling you that your president is the active asset. What do you think? You think it's for nothing, Abi? I told you that France did not leave Niger with joy. No, they left with the bitter heart. And they are going to get their pound of flesh, whether you like it or not. They won't go away from that country until they destabilize it. So what the man is saying is 100% truth.
That Nigerian government is complacent in creating chaos and insurgency.
They couldn't have done it. They wouldn't do it without the collaboration of Nigerian officials. The man has said it severally. We are providing a succor for them. Unfortunately, Nigeria forget that the CIA and even the France, the French, they can never be your friends as long as the economic interest is involved here. They will continue to destabilize you until they get what they want from your economy. That is the irony. You can see a whole chairman of ECOWAS. Chairman of ECOWAS. They are telling you of what you are involved in, and you don't even make any effort. All the ones they have been accusing Tinubu, has he reacted about it? No, he just kept quiet. Because it is the truth. When the CIA said that he is the active asset, if Tinubu knows the implication of such allegation, what is he supposed to do? Is he not supposed to react or even go to court?
He said, his media aide, Bayon Anuga, made a statement then saying that was just handiwork of clickbaiters and people who wants to make money off social media, off the president.
Okay, true talk. So, and then the president, you kept quiet. Because this was coming from the CIA, remember. When the court told them to do certain things, the CIA came out and said it. It's not a roadside talk in America or non-state actor or whatever. This was said by the CIA themselves. So, what are you saying?
According to that story, there was a plea bargain. And we know that when there is a plea bargain, there is certain agreement you meet, standards of agreement or certain things you agree to do.
The drug thing is different from what we are hearing now. The CIA tells that Tinubu is an active asset, even as the president of Nigeria, separately from what he did when he was in the United States.
Barrister, I know all this thing came out because of the Chicago story and the drug. That was when we started getting all of this stories.
So it means that it's not one issue. There are many issues involving Tinubu. When he was in the US, the CSU, what is it called? The social security number of somebody that he put in his certificate. Then this other one about CIA. It's not one issue now. It's not.
So bringing it back to insecurity now, Barrister Darlington, how can the Nigerian government be complacent or be accused to be complacent while they are still fighting terrorism here?
They are not fighting terrorism in Nigeria. Quote me. They are just doing a small screen. They are not fighting terrorism in Nigeria, promise. If not, this guy will not be doing what they are doing in Benue. Forget that thing. They are just trying to show that they are doing something. In reality, they don't want to do anything. How can you tell me that Nigerian soldiers and Nigerian officials, government officials are there when terrorists are coming into Nigeria as if they are going to Oshodi market? Today, one group will come, take over one part of Nigeria. Tomorrow, another group will enter, take over one part of Nigeria. And you're telling me you are fighting. What are you telling me?
But Barrister, to be fair to this administration, insurgency and insecurity did not begin. It
escalated under their watch.
Comparing it to the former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, rating it, Barrister, what would you say?
No, it is worse now because under Tinubu's watch, 3 more have entered. Yes, the one in Kwara, the Lakurawas or whatever they call them, didn't they come under Tinubu administration? So what are you now telling me? It escalated under his watch.
So you said
this thing that's going on in Benue now, it wasn't this bad before. It was under Tinubu that they are acting with so much arrogance and impunity.
But the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, barely did anything much, especially in the north-central Benue Plateau when killings. They just churn out statements and it goes, it doesn't go beyond that. It stops as churning out statements and that's it.
Should he continue under Tinubu? Please tell me. Should he continue even under Buhari and Tinubu? Must we have terrorists in Nigeria? I tell you that under Tinubu, it has escalated, it has gotten worse. Yet he couldn't declare state of emergency in Benue. But when Fubara and Wike were quarreling in rivers, quarreling, he declared state of emergency there. Look at the contradiction. Tell me, what is going on in Benue State? Is it not enough for Tinubu to declare state of emergency? But he kept quiet. He pretended that he's not. He's there in Lagos now, enjoying courtesy visits from friends and political party, whatever. Meanwhile, people are dying all over Nigeria. Flood have taken over 200 lives in Niger State. Yet, Tinubu could not go and visit them.
He sent a minister. He said,
please, don't. Okay, when he was going to campaign there last year, did he send somebody to go and campaign for him there? No, didn't Tinubu go to Niger State and campaign before 2023 election? Why didn't he send a minister to go and campaign for him there? The same people are now in a very serious problem. You couldn't go there. You feel so big that you cannot go. But you want their vote in 2027, Abi. You want their vote. That is how they regard you. They don't. In fact, Nigerian leaders are heartless. Seriously. No sympathy. They just say it with their mouth. That they are. Meanwhile, inside them, they don't have any regard for Nigerians. That's why things are like this. They don't have one smallest regard for any Nigerian. Under your word, people are being slaughtered in Benue. Almost you didn't say anything. No state of emergency, nothing. You just kept quiet. You said you send somebody. You send somebody. Are you serious? During campaign, will you send somebody to go and campaign for you?
So that is perhaps campaign. The politicians or leaders may see campaign as something different. They may see campaign as a different ball game than fighting or doing their major job when they are invited. After all, they have ministers and people who are their supporters who they trust on or rely on to help them deliver their votes. Like the FCT minister have assured the president that he's going to deliver both the FCT and River State to him. He said it 2 days ago during his video.
Don't worry yourself.
By the way, talking about the FCT minister, former spokesperson to Goodluck Jonathan, Ruben Abasi, had warned the president. He is warning President Tinubu now that citing outbursts of Wike and the way Wike insults and talks to people, that it might be the president that will be next.
Of
That
course.
the president should watch his back.
Abi.
That Wike, might just blow up on him one day and start, singing and all of that. Do you see that coming in future?
Of course. It has been said that those who ride on the back of a tiger always end up in the belly of the tiger. Whenever something has ulterior motive, evil motive, it doesn't last. It's a matter of time before the thing will backfire. We have seen it severally. We have seen it. This romance with Wike and Tinubu, it will backfire. And 2027 will decide. Because at a point, Wike would want to get something that Tinubu may not be willing to give. And that will be it. I'm telling you, it will get to a point where people will not resist Wike. And then, because of political survival, Tinubu may not even bother to intervene. And that will be it. Because all this noise that you give him, is the Wike going to vote more than once?
So, Barrister, talking about 2027 now, let's bring in INEC and the core job of INEC, which should be an independent body, by the way. First question, is INEC truly independent in Nigeria? I'm saying it because former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Chibika-Amechi, made a statement today. He said, if not for Atahiru Jega's uprightness, that they wouldn't have won, APC wouldn't have won in 2015. Oh. That he compared him to Mahmoud Yakubu. And he was saying that if Jega was like a person or has the same character with Mahmoud Yakubu, that they would not have won. So, comparing Atahiru Jega and Mahmoud Yakubu, what are you going to say? I
mean, they are wide apart. They are very, very wide apart.
So what kind of INEC chairman are we looking forward to see in 2027? Well, are we still going to see a Mahmoud?
It depends on Tinubu. I thank God they not have told Tinubu that if the next election in 2027 is rigged, there will be no Nigeria. I pray that they will keep to that word. No, seriously. I pray they will keep to that word because that is the only reason why we are in this mess. The wrong people are in government. The wrong people are in, and they know.
So you think there is going to be anything different from 2023
it must
election?
Be, it's not a question of
under the president.
No, look, Tinubu had better watch it. It's not a question of men. Look all over the world. Most times, what causes problem in all the countries have witnessed crisis because of what? Election. A flawed election. Go and check. Everywhere in Africa or outside Africa, what is the problem they have? It is flawed election. When the people's mandate is stolen.
Well, INEC said the election was free and fair.
Please, let him talk.
INEC led by Mahmoud Yakubu said 2023 election was free and fair. Even the judiciary confirmed. The judiciary confirmed it when they went to tribunal, Barrister.
Well, leave all those things. They know the truth now. Have they not started confessing what they did? Like Wike. Has he not started confessing what he did in Rivers? So, they claim that there will be 112 states. But they have come to confess that actually Labour Party won Rivers State. So, what is that supposed to mean? It means that there will be 113 states instead of 12. And other states, all the places they read, they know what they did. Because I've been asking INEC, if you claim that Tinubu won that election, why not publish all the polling units where he won? Because that's part of the Electoral Act that says you must publish unit by unit all the votes that were counted. Abi, up to today, did you know the 57,000 polling units that gave Tinubu victory where they are? Have you seen it? Have INEC told you or published it?
But if it's part of the Electoral Act, why didn't the judiciary ask this during that tribunal?
That will tell you. The same judiciary told you that the document article he brought it late. Therefore, they will not make use of it. And that was it. Because if they have looked at it, Tinubu in the first place did not qualify for that election because he lied. He lied about his certificates. That's enough to disqualify him. In fact, somebody went to jail in Tunisia for presenting fake certificates. It's on record. So why would the Tinubu bring all these fake documents and all these things and present it to INEC, and they still allowed him to contest elections to the extent of winning? Is that not fraud on his own? He brought fake certificates. Because up to today, Tinubu have not come out to say, no, it's not true, or it is true. He just kept quiet. How could they accuse you of such a thing and you kept quiet as a leader?
So an American lawyer, by the way, has ordered a mandamus for that story and will keep people abreast on how that pans out. Before 2027, let's see how that is going to pan out. It must come out.
It must come out. Yes, it must come out, whether you like it or not. I told Tinubu, whether in or out of office, that fraud, that this thing, that scandal will never end. It cannot.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for your thoughts and reactions. Sadly, we're out of time. Once again, Barrister Darlington is a legal practitioner and VOP analyst. Thank you so much, Barrister, once again.
It's my pleasure.
I will go on a short break and we'll return with more stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is still the midday news on Voice of the People Television. Now, moving to River State, the sole administrator, Ibok Etaibas, has appointed 11 new permanent secretaries. The appointment was contained in a statement issued in Port Harcourt and signed by the acting head of service, River State, Iyenge Brown. The statement said the newly appointed permanent secretaries will be sworn in by the sole administrator on a date to be made known. In another development, the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has launched a new campaign, the Partnership to Eliminate Cervical Cancer in Nigeria. This is to achieve the World Health Organization's target by 2030. The First Lady, while unveiling the logo of the campaign in Abuja, said that the campaign will help end the menace of cervical cancer among women across the country. She advised stakeholders and well-meaning Nigerians not to relent in their efforts, but to form a strong coalition that would reduce the high level of the disease among women. And still talking health, an outbreak of diphtheria has been confirmed in Edo State, resulting in 2 fatalities. Edo's Commissioner for Health, Dr. Cyril Oshomole, revealed during an emergency response meeting in Benin. The meeting follows confirmation from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital for 5 diphtheria cases, including the 2 deaths. The commissioner noted that diphtheria, a contagious bacterial infection affecting the nose and throat, could cause severe complications or death. He outlined key strategies, including deploying a rapid response team, improving coordination, and boosting surveillance and contact tracing. Other priorities include raising public awareness, engaging communities, and ensuring vaccine availability and access to people. And now talking politics, the All Progressive Congress has described as fake news the widespread reports of automatic tickets to all current members of the National Assembly. The APC National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, in a statement urged party members and the public to disregard the claim, which he said was falsely attributed to the party. The clarification followed the growing speculation over the party's internal nomination strategies ahead of the next election cycle. However, Morka said the report should be disregarded in its entirety as it did not emanate from the party. He assured that official party decision would be communicated through verified channels. Moving on, the Minister for the Federal Capital Territory and former Governor of River State, Nyesom Wike, has triggered a political uproar following an open declaration for support for the president's second-term ambition. This move has drawn sharp criticism from major opposition parties across the country, with Nigerians reacting. VOPCV's Matthew Ogunswada has more on this report.
At a media chat in Abuja on Monday, Nyesom Wike declared his intention to lead President Bola Tinubu's 2027 re-election campaign, while describing himself as a key political asset who played a major role in the last election and vowed to do the same again. The former Rivers State governor, while still claiming membership of the People's Democratic Party, challenged the PDP to suspend him if they believe he is working against the party's interest, defending his refusal to support the PDP's 2023 presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, citing the party's failure to respect the principle of zoning. Reacting swiftly, the PDP's Deputy National Youth Leader, Timothy Osadulo, urged Nigerians to ignore Wike's remarks, warning that disciplinary action would soon follow. The New Nigeria People's Party also dismissed the endorsement, stating confidently that President Tinubu will be defeated in 2027 regardless of Wike's support. Wike, however, maintained that his loyalty lies with competence and strategic thinking, not blind party allegiance. He further stated that internal crisis and weak leadership continue to tear the PDP apart, leading to mass defections, particularly in Delta and Akwa Ibom states. As Voice of the People TV, we are on the street to get the opinion of citizens towards this new development.
Wike endorsing Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027 election, is something that no party will ever tolerate. PDP ought to have expelled him by now or suspend him from that party. He has made himself as an agent for APC in PDP, and he's even boasting that nobody can expel him and nobody can suspend him. And we have some big hawks in PDP, Bode George, Lamido, and Bukola Saraki. I don't know why they are tolerating Wike like that. In any case, Wike is working for the presidency because he's the one that made Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the election. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu has lost Rivers State, there's no way he would have won the election. Because remember, all of them got 12, 12, 12, 12. Assuming he lost Rivers State, he would have got 11, while other party would have gotten 12 or, and edge him out. So that is why he is treasuring Wike so much. And Wike has become an egg in his hand. Doesn't want Wike to fall down and break. And then Wike is doing what he's being paid for. Because for him to be appointed as Minister of Federal Capital Territory is a payback of how he made Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the election. But remaining in PDP and working for APC.
Claiming that he is in PDP. That is what I have to say. What Wike is displaying is for his own interests, not for the guidance of the party. If you think that politics, democracy is for the people, allow the people to choose.
With many seeing it as a bold move driven by strategy. However, one thing is clear, the road to 2027 election is already eating up and is left for Nigerians to decide who to vote in the polls. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
Well, wonderful report by Matthew Ogunswada there. Now coming up is business, sport and entertainment stories. Stay tuned. And now to business. The federal government, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, has unveiled a 200 million naira support initiative to boost aquaculture in Nigeria. This initiative is also expected to help meet the country's annual fish demand. Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture at the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Wellington, made this known at the inauguration of the Scaling Fish Farming Through Finance initiative held at the Iriwe Fish Farming Cluster in Udubulu, Ogun State. Represented by Paul Upwama, Director Second of the Ministry, Omoragbon said the initiative aims to promote the sustainability of Nigeria's fishery resources. He also commended FAO and other development partners for their support in helping Nigeria improve its fish production capacity. Still in business, the Lagos State government has launched an initiative to register beach operators and introduce a licensing scheme for hotels, bars, lounges, and other hospitality businesses across the state. The Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Toke Benson Awoyinka, made this announcement in a statement posted on the Lagos State Government's official Facebook page. She explained that the initiatives aim to improve safety protocols on the state's beaches and raise service standards in the wider hospitality sector. Benson explained that the beach regulation framework will involve collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, community leaders, and environmental experts to enforce safety, cleanliness, and operational standards across all waterfront attractions in Lagos State. From his business, we'll move to sports now with a brace by Captain Rasheedat Ajibade. The Super Falcons beat visiting indomitable Lioness of Cameroon 2-0 in a pre-Women African Cup of Nations friendly match at the newly renovated MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Ajibade scored the opening in the 28th minute from the penalty spot and then completed her brace in the 43rd minute after capitalizing on a sweet team move, assisted by Rinshola Babajide. Coach Justice Madugu said the victory is a good psychological boost for his squad as they continue preparations for the 13th Women AFCON taking place in Morocco between July 5 and 26th. Nigeria will be aiming for a 10th triumph in the forthcoming WAFCON, having won the trophy 9 times since it was launched as a tournament in 1998. Still talking sports, the draw for the much-anticipated FIFA U17 Women's World Cup will take place today in Rabat in Morocco. This year's edition hits a historic milestone as the competition expands to feature 24 nations for the first time since its inauguration in 2008 in New Zealand. Among the seeded nations for the draw in Nigeria is Nigeria's U17 women's national team, the Flamingos, who are set to place in Plot 1 alongside global powerhouse Spain, Japan, North Korea, the USA, and the host Morocco. Nigeria booked their ticket to Morocco 2025 after securing a goalless draw away to Algeria in the final round of qualifying, sealing a 4-0 aggregate victory. Now to entertainment, Davido has announced music producer and singer Cobham Sissoko as the musical director for his upcoming 5 Alive World Tour. Well, in a video shared on Instagram, Davido praised Sissoko's contribution to the tour's preparation and expressed enthusiasm about the collaboration. Sissoko also shared his excitement among joining the project, which will see Davido perform across multiple countries. Davido's 5th album, 5, was released on April 18th. In the 17-track album, he featured Jamaican singer 450 and Shansi, South African artist Musa Keys, American musician Chris Brown and Becky G, and French singer Taze and Daju. Victoni, Udumodu Black, Chike, and Omale are the Nigerian singers enlisted in the project. That's it on the midday news, but before we go, let's take a quick look at the headlines again. FIC deploys 36,000 personnel for El-Kabir special patrol. Niger governor orders low-key Salah celebrations. That's Niger State governor. Sultan seeks prayer for Nigeria on Arafat Day. Defense Ministry warns Boko Haram insurgents threaten stability across Nigeria and the Sahel region. Tinubu confirms national honor on Bill Gates. Education Minister goes tough on illegal satellite campuses. In business, FAO launched 200 million aquaculture support initiative. And in sports, Super Falcons outshine indomitable Lioness of Cameroon. And finally, in entertainment, Cobham's support to direct Davido's 5 Alive musical tour. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel on Voice of the People TV and all other social media platforms. We are VOP TV Live. Coming up is Spotlight with Masina Chioka. For stay tuned and promise a good afternoon.